Good morning, YouTube. Thought we'd have a little discussion about motivation today. Got some new equipment, as you can see, with a bench. So worked on that yesterday. Was still a little sore from my cardio, but getting along pretty good. But you know, it was hard getting motivated. I didn't even get motivated today, but I was pretty sore and I really needed the extra time. So clearly I was listening to my body. But tonight, yeah, I'll be back at it. So just about ready to head to bed. Yeah, I know, I sleep in the daytime, but it's cold as heck out here on the farm. So it'll be nice to go to bed, having run the fire all night. So then that way, it'll be pretty easy to keep the house warm. So anyways, I thought I'd start off first with what has motivated me to do these videos. And it was because I have spent a lot of time watching videos from a lot of people with a lot of good information who I trust, who I believe in, who I like, but none of them I could relate to. Not a one. At some point in time, some of these guys may have been my weight, may have been, slightly overweight or heavy, but so often they were athletic who let themselves go, and more often than not they went on to win championships in bodybuilding or physique, and now they're talking about the time they were like that. They clearly had a different motivation. I'm never going to be that, and I'm never going to look like that. I understand that. Oh, maybe I will. That would be great, but that's not my goal. That's not my end in mind. And I truly believe these guys want to help. And I truly believe you should follow them. I truly believe that you should watch them. I truly believe you should learn from them. But I also realized there was no one out there saying, hey, it's okay. It's not perfect. And doing the best you can is acceptable. And I'm struggling too. That's me. That's where I thought I'd come in, run some videos, and say, hey, it's okay. I'm struggling too. And you'll be okay. Do the best you can. Just keep going. So, that was my motivation, because I really had spent months not doing anything because I was looking at these guys, realizing that, this isn't going to be me, and not having the motivation. And I finally decided to get the motivation. And I'm going to tell you, that's more important than anything, is having motivation to do this, and you need to find your motivation. Because if your motivation is to look good to go in the club, you don't have this problem to begin with, because that motivation was good enough to keep you from getting where you are, right? So you have to find your motivation. You have to say, like my friend Cody, who finally said, hey, I want to be around for my daughter. I'm just going to lean back. Why not? Or like my husband, who was always in good shape and had never-ending health problems, and just wants to get back to where he was. And he's got his own motivations, and they're good. I had to run in my own personal motivations too, and my own personal motivations was definitely when we went into this keto thing. I was half serious, and I did a half decent job. But I'll be honest, when I really started to lose the weight, when I really started getting serious, was after I went and visited my mom. And for many of you who know, I call my grandmother Mom. I was raised by my grandparents. And she was type 2 diabetic for most of my life. I remember when we first went in to diagnose her with type 2 diabetes, because she was seeing double. She was angry. She had all sorts of things going on. She has dementia and Alzheimer's. She doesn't know who I am when I see her. And she's been this way for a decade. And I watch this very strong woman, who's now just a shell of herself. And she's pleasant, she's fun, she smiles. I mean, thankfully, we still have that. We still have this unique personality of hers. But for how long? And we don't know. Any day, it could be gone. Her memories are gone. She's living in the 40s and 50s now. And when I watched a video by the guy I talk about so much, Dr. Barry. And I'd watched some Dr. Berg, and I'd watched Thomas. But when I watched this video of Dr. Barry talking about how a ketogenic diet, getting rid of the sugar, and getting more towards a human diet could, possibility, prevent Alzheimer's and prevent dementia. And without a doubt, her diabetes caused the dementia. The Alzheimer's her mother had, but her mother also had sugar problems and had weight issues. So the Alzheimer's, a lot of good studies and a lot of good information. You want information on that, you can go find it. But I'm telling you my personal motivation. I looked at that woman and I realized that can be me, and that shouldn't have been her, and that with a, had I done, that's my motivation. It brings up, and as you can see, it stirs up a lot of emotions I can't even announce and pronounce. But to be that dependent, to be that helpless at that age, it's scary. And it hurts me to see her. We went through this with her mother, my great-grandmother. And to see what it does to the people around you, because you don't know what's going on. You have no clue. To watch my dad, who's been married to her for, oh my goodness, 60 years. 60 years this year, I believe. And he has to go see a woman 3 times a week who has no clue who he is. I couldn't do that to Patrick. I can't do that to my loved ones. I have to break this family cycle now. I have to break this routine. So you have to find your motivation. You have kids, but you need to be around for your grandkids. If your spouse, whatever your motivation is, if it's just you and you're just afraid to die, it's okay to be afraid to die. It's okay to not want to die losing legs and limbs and all the things that diabetics go through. That's okay to be scared of that. And it's okay not to do this perfect. It's okay to do your best and fail a little. But as long as you're doing something. That's the important part. That's the part I want to get to you. That's why I want to share with you all my failures and the things I have hard times with, to show you, come on, you can keep moving. And it's a motivation to me too, because I'm going to have to come on here and do another video. And either if I give up, I got to come here and tell you that, hey, I gave up. I don't want to do that. But I have a strong motivation. It's not just this YouTube. My strong motivation is that I've seen the effects of what this can do, of not eating right, of what blood sugar and diabetes and insulin resistance and obesity can do several times over now. And it's not good. And I don't like it. And I don't like what it has done to the people who love you, the people around you. But if that's not your motive, you just need to find your motivation. That gives me a strong motivation to get up and go, I really want a donut. And walk right past those donuts, get my coffee, slap a pat of butter into it, and drive on down the road. The other motivation for doing this was because I lead a hectic life. I'm on the road 5 days a week and home for 2. Sometimes I'm on the road for longer, traveling and doing all sorts of things. And I understand not everyone's perfect. And there's a lot of truckers out there who are doing the same thing I'm doing. In fact, they're living in their truck 3-4 weeks at a time. And I also wanted to bring that to you and say, hey, you're talking to people who have time to cook in their kitchen. You're talking to people who have the budget, to spend crazy amounts of money on food. And it's okay. You do what you can do. Just the simple stuff. But you gotta find your motivation, and it better be serious. And not be the motivation, I just want to look better. Because if you'd wanted to look better, if you were that vain, I'm not saying vanity is a problem, but if you were that vain, you wouldn't have gotten in the situation you're in with the weight. And you wouldn't be looking to me to have someone to tell you, it's okay, you can do it. You'd be looking at the Thomas DeLauers and going, yeah, I'm going to make my body look like that tomorrow because I never got that big in the first place. So, do what you can, keep it up, We all fail a little as long as you keep stumbling forward. Bye.